Hello guys, so today we will see how to balance the chemical equations. So let's get started. For the first example, O2 plus PCl3 gives POCl3. So we'll write down the number of elements present on each side. So reactant side and product side. So here we can see oxygen, phosphorus and chlorine. So how many oxygens are there? 2. How many phosphorus atoms are there? 1. And number of chlorine atoms are 3. Now on the product side, oxygen, phosphorus, chlorine. Oxygen, number of oxygens 1, number of phosphorus atoms 1 and chlorine 3. Now if you will see phosphorus, chlorine. Phosphorus and chlorine are already balanced, and to balance the oxygen we need to multiply the oxygen atom by 2. But on the product side, the oxygen is in combination with the phosphorus and chlorine as POCl3. So we need to multiply by 2 to POCl3. So multiply by 2 to POCl3. So what we'll get? We will get O2 plus PCl3. That will give 2 POCl3. Now we'll write down the number of atoms on both the sides. So oxygen 2, phosphorus 1 and chlorine 3. On the product side, oxygen 2, phosphorus 2 and chlorine 6. So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. Now the oxygens got balanced. Now we have to balance the phosphorus on the reactant side. So on the reactant side, if we multiply by this phosphorus by 2 and this chlorine by 2, then both phosphorus and chlorine will get balanced on both the sides. Now phosphorus and chlorine are in combination as PCl3 here. So in common we can multiply this PCl3 by 2. So we will get, so the reaction will get automatically balanced. So multiplied by 2 to PCl3. Now after multiplying by 2 to the PCl3, what would be the reaction? O2 plus twice PCl3, that will give twice of POCl3. Now let's check the number of O, P and Cl. So number of oxygen atoms 2, phosphorus 2, chlorine 2 multiplied by 3, 6. And on the product side, O, P and Cl. So oxygen 2, phosphorus 2 and chlorine 6. So all the elements are balanced now. So this is our balanced chemical reaction. Now let's see the second example. P4 plus N2O, that will give P4O6 plus N2. Now let's write down the number of elements present on the reactant side and product side. So P and O. So phosphorus 4, nitrogen 2 and oxygen 1. On the product side, P and O. So phosphorus 4, nitrogen 2 and oxygen 6. Now phosphorus atoms are already balanced, nitrogen atoms are already balanced. So we have to multiply it by 6 to the oxygen atoms. Now if we multiply the oxygen atoms by, but here you can see oxygen is in combination with the nitrogen, so N2O. So we have to multiply it by 6 to the N2O. So multiply by 6 to N2O. So we will get P4 plus 6 N2O, that will give us P4O6 plus N2. Now again we will write down the number of elements. So P and O. So number of phosphorus atoms 4, nitrogen atoms 12, oxygen atoms 6, and here again P and O. So phosphorus atoms 4, nitrogens 2 and oxygens 6. Now the oxygen atoms are balanced and phosphorus are balanced. Now we have to balance the nitrogen atoms. So here on the reactant side, nitrogen atoms are 12, on the product side they are 2. So if we will multiply by 6 with the nitrogen atoms, they will get balanced. So here again multiply by 6 to N2. So what we will get? So we will get P4 plus 6 N2O, that will give P4O6 plus 6 N2. Now let's determine the number of atoms on both the sides. So on the reactant side, PNO, so P phosphorus atoms 4, nitrogen atoms 12, and oxygen atoms 6. And on the product side, phosphorus atoms 4, nitrogen atoms 12, and oxygen atoms 6. So 4, 4, 12, 12, 6, and 6. So this is our balanced chemical equations. So this is the third example. AS2S3 plus O2 gives AS2O3 plus SO2. So firstly, we'll write down the number of atoms on the reactant side and product side. So AS, S, and O. So AS 2, sulfur 3, and oxygen 2. And the product side, AS, S, O. So number of AS atoms 2, sulfur atoms 1, and oxygen atoms 3 plus 2, 5. Now here AS atoms are already balanced. So we will balance firstly the sulfur atoms. So to balance the sulfur atoms, we need to multiply it by 3. So in the product, on the product side, if you will see, sulfur is in combination with the oxygen, so we will multiply to SO2 by 3. So multiply by 3 to SO2. So what we will get? We will get AS2S3 plus O2 will give AS2O3 plus 3SO2. Now again we'll write ASSO. So 2, 3, and 2, 2, 3, and 2. And on the product side, ASSO 2, 3, and number of oxygen 3 to the 6 plus 3, 9. Now sulfur atoms are balanced, AS atoms are balanced. Now we have to balance these oxygen atoms. Now you can see 9 is not divisible by 2. So we'll cross multiply, like here we multiplied by 9 and here we'll multiply by 2. So here you can see oxygen is independent, so we can directly multiply by 9 to the oxygen. And but here you can see the oxygen is present in two compounds, S2O3 and thrice SO2. So we can multiply by 2 to any of these compounds. So we'll select this AS2O3. So multiply by 9 to O2 and multiply by 2 to AS2O3. So what? So we'll get AS2S3 plus 9O2, that will give 2AS2O3 plus thrice SO2. Now we'll write down the number of elements present on product and reactant side. So ASSO, so 2, 3, and 18, and here ASSO 4, oxygen, so sulfur 3, and oxygen atom 3 to the 6, total 12. Now sulfur atoms are balanced, so we'll balance these AS atoms. So again, so to balance this AS, we need to multiply it by 2. Now on the reactant side, AS is in combination with this S, so we'll multiply by 2 to AS2S3. So what we'll get? 2AS2S3 plus 9O2 gives 2AS2O3 plus 3SO2. Now we'll again write down the number of atoms. ASSO, so 4, sulfur 6, and oxygen 18. On the product side, ASSO, so 4, sulfur atoms 3, and oxygen atoms 12. Now we have to balance again this sulfur by multiplying this sulfur by 2. So this sulfur is in combination with this oxygen, so we'll multiply this SO2 by 2. So multiply by 2 to SO2. So what we'll get? 2AS2S3 plus 9O2, that will give 2AS2O3 plus multiply by 2 to multiply by 2 to SO2, so it will be 6SO2. So let's check the number of atoms. ASSO, so AS is 4, sulfur 6, oxygen 18. ASSO, So this is again As4, sulfur 6, and 6 to the 12, 18. So the number of, so sorry, the balanced chemical equation will be this. So these are the practice problems. You guys can reply with your answers in the comments section. Please do like if you get any value from this video. Please do share and subscribe to our channel for such more videos. Thank you.